Among the sun-dappled glades, you venture into the wilderness to forage for ingredients to cook an unforgettable picnic. The rustling of leaves and the sweet scent of wild herbs fill the air as you carefully select vibrant mushrooms, delicate greens, and wild berries. Lost in the rhythm of nature, you hardly sense the arrival of two striking figures, Mr. and Mrs. Winters, exuding an air of opulence and eccentricity. After a while, you notice that they seem to be observing your efforts with curious smiles and occasional whispers between them. Wanting to be friendly, you decide to assemble a feast using your foraged treasures and present the impromptu spread to the Winters. Hopefully, this will allow you to discover why they're so interested in you, or at least put a pause to their murmured pursuit. Alright, here we are for scenario 5, The Secret Order. Have my tokens spread out. As you saw, or as you know, or as you might have seen, this is an extended trip, which means I'm going to stay at the same location for both trips. Have my markers set up here, got my person up there, got my score markers, got my books, etc. We have Mr. and Mrs. Winters that we are ready to serve. So looking around, so we are going to do the whole at the beginning of each day in player order. I gain 1 of the current ingredient, which gives me a mushroom. And then I can either gain 2 points or study. Let's go ahead and start with studying. We are going to grab the mushroom one and this one. And let's go ahead and put this in our gather, in our forage area, so we can get lots of mushrooms. So Mr. and Mrs. Winter want this one. So I need 3 of the leaves and 1 other. This one right here is not looking too bad. Or the watercress omelet. And I know I can get a lot of mushrooms, especially if I go here. And I can start getting that, and then I'll be set up to come up here and get the lettuce. But first, let's see what I grab out of here. And we pull out an extra forage hand. Alrighty, so we are going to, I think, move, 1, 2, 3. Let's just make sure there's nowhere better. I do want to start building up the onions, like I said, so I can maybe get that watercress omelet. So we are going to move, we want to move 3 so we can get that stuff. So we are going to go 3 on our forage. 1, 2, 3. We are near the onions, the roots, so we grab 2 of those. And then here we are going to just grab 2 of the blue stuff. Now we do want to get to that green right there. Is there anything that can help me? That would just have me get a mushroom if I grab that one. So I wasn't sure if I want to move 1 and study or if I want to really focus on getting this stuff. I think we are going to move 2. We are not by onions, so we do not get them. And we are going to forage 2 of the leaf vegetables. So now I'm almost to there. I need 1 more of those and 1 more of these, which is in that spot, which is 1, 2, 3 away. Yep. So we'll do our 1 through 4, move 3, 1, 2, and 3, and grab a leaf, and grab a blue. Now we are going to want to cook, so we're just going to move 1. Let's go ahead and start with our French sorrel sauce. So we spend our 3 green, we grab this, that's going to be 3 points, 1, 2, and 3. Put this under our cooked recipes right there. And then we are 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we will go here. 4 to cook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And our 2 roots and our 3 blues. Oh, I forgot to replace my card. Ooh, a mushroom ravioli. So we're doing the watercress omelet, which gives us 7 points. Let's replenish that right away so I don't forget this time. Under there. So actually I'm going to do them upside down so I can see the symbols. There we go. So I am able to serve them when I get a chance. Alright, so now we get to put up our token up here. So I can forage twice. Kind of looking... Oh, I don't know why I have my part of my draw pile in there. So we are going to look to see what we want to do with this. We can grab a root vegetable and get a point. We only have the one jar. I don't have the ingredients for that. I can forage twice or get 2 points. I think we are going to put up our 3. We are going to forage twice and go ahead and give me a couple of... See, acorns are needed out here for a few recipes. I know I'm pretty good with onions. Although if I grab 2 of those, I'm ready for the sea lettuce granola. So yeah, let's grab 2 of those with our 2 forage. And these come back up. Beginning of each day, so I gain 1 of this, which is the onion. I then can gain 2 points or study, and I buy something that's worthwhile. That would give me 1 of the things on there. Or if I'm buying a strawberry, I get a point. Let's go ahead and grab this one. And we're going to put this by our cooking and serving, which is what we are going to do with our first action. We are going to move 2, 1, and 2. So we are going to go ahead and get a onion root vegetable. So we don't really need any of those, but they're good to have. And we are going to serve Mr. and Mrs. Winters with those. And they do not give me any points initially. At the end of the game, they're going to give me 3 points for each recipe in my play area. So we'll set them up there. And now we will go ahead and see what their story is. As you serve them, their eyes widen in surprise and delight, and every bite seems to evoke a greater sense of excitement. You're taken aback when Mrs. Winters suddenly extends her hand out to you. "You're exactly what we've been looking for," she exclaims. Yes, Mr. Winter concurs. "We've been looking for a replacement for our chef, Anne Sophie, for ages now. She used to cook up the most wonderfully adventurous dishes for us, but then she just disappeared one day. Not even a goodbye, just vanished without even cooking up one final dessert. You see, we're part of what you might call a secret society," explains Mrs. Winters. "The Order of Epicurean Oddities has many members in the area. We're a group of, interesting individuals who love the imaginative and adventurous experiences that can come with trying new dishes." "Exactly, and your inventive use of foraged ingredients for your dishes is the kind of adventurous skill set that makes you perfect to join as our group's new chef," exclaims Mr. Winter, almost humming with excitement. He holds out an enamel pin with an intricate design to you. "This pin shows that you're an apprentice epicure, a newer member of our group. Other members will seek you out to test your culinary skills. Do well enough, and our leader, the Grand Gourmet, will find you for your final test." The dappled sunlight seems to dance in approval as you accept their mysterious pin. The next morning, you tentatively embark on your normal foraging route, wondering what other strange encounters await you on the trail. While engrossed in foraging some wild roots, you're startled by a rustling and turn to see a woman carrying a furry creature step out of the foliage. The woman exudes an air of opulence, her designer attire contrasting oddly with the rugged terrain. On her thick, fur-lined jacket, you can see a pin, like yours, glinting in the sunlight. "Well, hello there. Lucy and I have been looking everywhere for you, haven't we, my little muffin?" she coos. A cold shiver runs down your spine as you glance at the creature named Lucy. Its fur is bristled in unusual patterns, and its eyes seem to shine with an otherworldly glint. "My name is Naomi, and this darling creature is named Lucy," the woman continues, seeming not to notice the sense of pure foreboding emanating from the creature. "We're here to see if you have the potential that Mr. and Mrs. Winters think you do. Just be warned that Lucy likes to play tricks on those that displease her, but I'm sure you'll do fine." Lucy slowly turns her head and fixes you with her unblinking pink gaze. You decide to get started before you begin to wonder if the whispers in your head aren't imagined. Alright, so we have Lucy here. We have that new rule that we want to do all pay tribute to Lucy. Optimally, we want to kind of have ingredients on them. Because, let's see, what is it? Whenever you rest, first check the number of ingredients on Naomi and Lucy's card. If the number of ingredients is less than the number of action tokens on your player board, in this instance it's going to be 4, I'm going to randomly choose which action token. But then they get this card. I don't know if I'm worried about that. She wants a salad, which is right here, and I already have 2 of the ingredients for that. I just need a bark, and I'm all set for my sea lettuce granola, which can be her other one. So I am pretty close. I can get the stuff, I can cook, and I'll be serving her next turn. So I think the one random one isn't going to hinder me that much. Well, with that being said, we want to move 1, 2, 3, I believe. Because I can't get, there is no bark next to an onion. And I want to set up myself with a 1 and a 4. So if I go 1, 2, 3, then the 1 is cooking, and then I can do the 4 cooking. So we will do the 1 through 4 right here. To move 1, 2, and 3. We're going to grab the bark. And let's go ahead and grab one of the blue guys. Because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend that to put this book back wherever. Oh, I just realized I never refilled that token. I have a tendency to forget that. So that will increase or decrease my travel by 1. We're going to put this back up here. Then we are going to move 1 and cook. So we move 1. I don't think I want that, so I'm going to cook first, and then I'm going to grab my recipe. So we'll spend our 2 to grab the sea lettuce granola, which is going to give me 3 points. Like that. We flip this over, and instead now I will get a flour. And then we are going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I think again we're going to cook first before we get our stuff. So we are making the garlic mustard salad, a bark, a root, and a mushroom. Like that. That's going to give us 3 more points, 16. This comes under there. Flip this up, and now we get a bark. Rough, rough. So that is the end. We check. She has no ingredients, so we are going to do one of these randomly. So we'll shake our up, and this one. It is our number 2. So we're putting our 2 up here. And we can't do anything. We don't have the recipes. I mean, I would have moved 2 on my jars if I had the acorn, but I do not. So that is the issue with that. All right. So that is that one. So at the beginning of the day, gain 1. So I get a bark. And then 2 points or study. I think I'm at the same point where I can do the +1 or -1 movement. I moved that up there, though, because I want the extra forage. We're going to put that down here in my forage location. Like that. Goody goody gumdrops. Now we're going to serve Naomi and Lucy. So we're going to do our, let's see, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's spend our 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Done. And that I am going to grab the bark. So now I have 3 bark. And we are going to serve Naomi and Lucy. And then they're going to give me 4 points. Their power is going to be to discard them, to discard another guest, and score their points again without activating its ability. And then, so there we go. Let's see what that story has in store for us. As you place the finished dishes on the picnic table, a shrill cry comes from Lucy. She leaps down from Naomi's arms and begins to devour the food, tearing it with her claws and gulping down big portions. Well, I think you have a very pleased guest, says Naomi. I have to say, while this meal is more unusual than most, I find myself quite enjoying it. It's always something special to eat food another person has prepared. It's like having a delicious taste of someone's soul. She smiles and scoops up the now food-covered Lucy. I believe Lucy and I are convinced of your skills. You have our vote to become a member of the Order. Feeling complimented and slightly unnerved, you continue your hike, eventually venturing deeper into the forest, seeking more rare ingredients. As you crouch to gather some fiddlehead ferns, you see another figure materialize from the shadows in front of you. Dressed in a sleek gray suit, purple tie, and designer glasses, his aura exudes a sense of danger and mystery. With a subtle nod, he introduces himself, his voice carrying an undertone of intrigue. I am Mr. Mendez, he states, his tone precise and composed. In this realm of unusual gastronomy, our paths cross not by chance, but by design. He continues as you stroll together, his words as measured as his steps. To join the Order of Epicurean Oddities is no simple feat. Our society thrives on a passion for food and being your true self.
And so, I present you with my test. Make me something to eat, as quickly as possible. Nervously, he begins to look around, glancing behind trees and down the path. Seriously, I'm in hiding from the society's leader, the Grand Gourmet, and it's imperative that she doesn't find me. It's a matter of life and death. You start to laugh, but the fear in Mr. Mendez's eyes and the sweat running down his neck seem genuine. You think maybe it's better not to find out what would happen if the Grand Gourmet finds him.
Well, now this is going to be fun. So we have Frankie and Yolanda down here. We have Mr. Mendez down here. We have the Catch Me If You Can. At the end of each turn, reveal and discard the guest to the right of Frankie and Yolanda. Then read the discarded guest story entry. When the last face-down guest is discarded, instead read entry 130. While this rule is in effect, only Mr. Mendez can be served. This rule ends when either Mr. Mendez is served or entry 130 is read. So he needs a salad. I have no salads out here, nor can I use the keep it fresh rule because you need 3 of the same recipe out here. So I have 2 more turns, which means 2 cards are going. Then everything's going to get reset. So maybe a lettuce will come up, or a salad will come up then. So maybe I should kind of maneuver around and see if maybe I can even make one of these to get a recipe up here. Or maybe work on doing some studying. Let's see what we got. So I think with these last 2, I am just going to try and gather a bunch of ingredients and hope that I have what I need for the salad. So I think our first one is we are going to forage with a 4 and go 1, 2, 3, 4 right to there. I technically get 3 forages. I'm going to grab, I think, a mushroom, and let's grab a couple of berries. Then it's the end of the turn. So we reveal this one. It's the little ones. So let's go ahead and hear what they have to say.
Mr. Mendez leads you deeper into the wild in hopes of evading the Grand Gourmet. While climbing a hill, you come across a small shrine set under a ledge made from boulders. The shrine is moss-covered and gently weathered by centuries of existence. A crack in the ledge above creates a warm spotlight on the shrine, almost making it seem like it's glowing with an inner power. The little one's shrine, says Mr. Mendez, should be safe here. This is far from the path, and... Mr. Mendez stops mid-sentence and grows pale. That bowl shouldn't be there, and do the stones seem a bit more scorched than normal? He asks. You look closer and can see a flowered ceramic bowl with some sort of red residue has been left in front of the shrine. Examining the rocks more carefully, you can see tiny black scorch marks, marking the smooth stone. Hiccup! You hear the odd sound coming from above you and look toward the top of the ledge. There, you can see some of the little ones standing on the boulder slightly above your head. You open your mouth to greet them when one of them gives out a loud belch, and a small plume of fire shoots out of its mouth. More little ones begin hiccuping, and soon you and Mr. Mendez are dodging a steady stream of fiery burps. She's already been here, yells Mr. Mendez as he tries to put out an ember in his silk pocket square. We've got to get out of here before we end up like them. You and Mr. Mendez run off, leaving a wave of burning belches in your wake.
All right, we're going to use our 1. Again, on forage, we move 1. We are by the roots, so we get 2 of those. And then I think I am going to grab a couple of flowers and 1 more berry. And then I'm not going to worry about returning my books because at the end of this trip, they all go back and replenish, so I don't need to worry about getting rid of those. It is the end of a turn, though. So now we have Nicholas. So now we're going to move on to Nicholas's story.
During your flight, you and Mr. Mendez come across a man lying face down in the dirt. Concerned, you ask if he might be another victim of the Grand Gourmet's wrath. What, Nicholas? Asks Mr. Mendez. I mean, maybe, but he always looks like that. I'll never find true love, Nicholas mumbles into the grass. I read that sometimes people leave love letters in empty tree hollows. I reached in every single one I could find. His lips begin to tremble. And you know what I found? Squirrels! I found many, many squirrels, and they all had a family of their own. He begins to sob again into the grass. I'll never fall in love and have a beautiful family like those squirrels. Mr. Mendez leans down. My friend, I'm sure it'll happen for you, but I don't think you'll find love by searching inside every empty tree in the forest. Perhaps volunteering at the community center might be a better way to meet. He's cut off abruptly as Nicholas jumps up and runs off with a look of determination on his face. A friend! Mr. Mendez says to the empty air, shaking his head.
So there is that one. So now we are again at the end of the day. So I can put one of these up there. If I was another spot further, I probably would have done the one so I could forge twice. Wouldn't mind getting the bark. Instead we're just going to go up here and get 2 points. 1 and 2. So it is the end of the trip. So at the end of the trip, we are going to bring all these back down here. We are going to reseed this board. We are going to replenish these tokens here. We're going to put all the books back, and we're going to redistribute the books. And then in theory, we'd flip over to a location. This, however, is one where we have the extended trip, so we're going to stay right where we are. So I'll be right back with all of this changed up. All right, here we are. Everything is reset up. We are going to do it at the beginning of day. So I gain that thing. And then I am going to study, looking where I'm at. I'm going to grab the mushroom and grab the leaf. And I'm going to put that under the cook and serve. If you notice, he wants a salad. We have this purslane salad that came up that wants 2. I have 3 of an ingredient, so I can always turn that in. So I technically could even move just 1 with this and make it right away. That'd be that one. Then I can serve them, and we're good. Because I'm assuming we don't want them to meet, especially because one of the things is to serve him. So I'm assuming if he gets the end, I can't serve him. That would be my guess, seeing as I'm reading 130, and theirs is 130. So that is what our hope is to do. So we are going to move, I think, just the 1 right to there. That gets us another one of the blue and gets us a lettuce. We are then going to turn our 3 roots in for a lettuce. And we are going to cook up the purslane salad for 2 points. Like that. It's the end of the turn. Let's fill this up really quick. They are going to take care of Ericson. So let's go ahead and see what Ericson's story was.
As you and Mr. Mendez continue to discreetly walk the path undetected, you notice a motorcycle lying abandoned on the side of the road. Worried, you both rush over to see if the driver needs any help. Searching, you quickly find him panting under the shade of a tree. His face is covered in a slick sheet of sweat, and his eyes are wide with shock and disbelief. He seems to be mumbling to himself in some sort of fevered dream. Kneeling, you do your best to catch his mumbled words. I thought I was tough, but no one is that tough. No one. Another poor unfortunate victim, Mr. Mendez says sadly. We'd better keep moving.
So now we can serve Mr. Mendez. We can do that with a 2 or a 4. Doesn't really fully matter where I end at right now because I'm not sure what I'm about to do next. So let's go ahead and do a 2 down here. 1, 2. We are going to serve Mr. Mendez, which gives us 3 points. 1, 2, and 3. And his thing is down here is I can discard him to discard up to 3 of your reserved cards. For each card discarded, gain 2. I don't know if I'm actually going to do that. I normally don't reserve cards, especially in the solo mode, because I have access to everything. That may kind of make me want to do it, though, to get some points. We'll kind of see how the game plays. But with all that, let's see what that story is.
Out of breath, you and Mr. Mendez stagger to a halt, and you try to ease the cramps in your side from running. The forest quiets, and their air becomes thick with an unsettling stillness. Mr. Mendez's eyes dart around as if seeking an escape from an invisible threat. Without warning, a bone-chilling series of clicks echoes through the woods, sending a shiver down your spine. Mr. Mendez's gaze locks onto something behind you, his expression a mixture of horror and determination. With a swift and calculated movement, he leaps to his feet and runs through the thick underbrush. The sounds of breaking branches and frantic footsteps quickly fade into the distance. "Oh no, we missed Mr. Mendez," a small musical voice says from behind you. Turning, you see a small girl adorned in a lavish dress and holding a small plastic container. Beside her stands a colossal robotic teddy bear, its mechanical innards making occasional whirring and clicking sounds. "I guess he'll miss trying out my new culinary creation, Yolanda's Inferno Nova Blast Curry. It's made with a special blend of Carolina Reaper and scorpion peppers I grew myself. I've been sharing it with some of my friends and it's been a big hit." With a shrug and a sigh, she turns and looks at you. "Hi, I'm Yolanda, and this is my friend Frankie," she says. pointing at the massive robotic bear. "I'm the Grand Gourmet, and I've been so excited to meet you. We've been looking for a new chef ever since our old one moved to start her own business. I miss her, but I know she's always wanted to start her own Thai restaurant, and the blazing binturong has been doing so well." As her smile fades, you can sense how much this young girl must miss her friend. "I moved here last year with my dad, and for a while, I was pretty lonely," Yolanda continues. "My dad made Frankie for me to try and help, but a robot is not the same as having real friends. So I started the secret order of Epicurean oddities to meet new people who love food like I do. Now I have lots of new friends, and we get to share our passions with each other every day." She smiles at you and says, "There's just one last test you must pass to join our society." She takes a deep breath and puts out her hand. "You must agree to be my friend." Laughing, you accept her hand and agree to be friends. "We're having a big potluck this weekend at the park to celebrate our newest member, so make sure you bring your favorite dish. I'll be bringing my newest creation, the volcanic apocalypse sizzle salsa, and I expect all members to give it a try."
So now we can just focus on scoring points, which is a good thing. So I think initially I'm going to go for Brooklyn. She scores me nothing, but she gives me a jar in case I want to start scoring jars. And I can discard her to serve one guest card without paying its cost. So that will always be good, especially if there's one who needs 2 dishes to help me get me points in various things. And then I might start working maybe towards Sloane if one of the croissant things comes up, because I gain an ingredient of your choice for each guest, including this one. At that point, I'll have like 6 guests. So that will be worthwhile to do at that point. So that is something that I will be looking at doing. So to get Brooklyn, I will need to make that cattail pollen pasta, which I have very little. I need a blue and I need an onion. So there's my blue. I don't have a blue by an onion, so it will take a couple moves to get there. So our first one is 2 away. 2 away, 2 away. I keep forgetting to rebuild my things. And we'll go. So that would be spend one of the active ingredients to forage twice. So we'll use our 1 through 4 to move. We're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to be able to get to that. I can move 7 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's going to be a predicament unless I don't move just the 2 and work on getting my onions and then wrapping around for that. I think that's what we're going to do. So I was here. So we're actually going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. So that gives me 2 onions. And I don't know what Sloane's going to want, what dish she's going to want to do for that. So I think for our 3 forages, let's go ahead and grab a couple of bark and another onion. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm still not able to get there. Oh wait, but I can turn 3 bark into it. So I'm good. I'll just serve now. So let's just do 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll just go right there. That gives us a lettuce. That gives us, we're going to hold off on the bark. We're going to first make what we're making, the cattail pollen pasta. So we need 3 of these. We're going to spend 3 bark as one of those. We need a root and we need a berry. So we have served this, so that gives us 6 points right there. Our next one comes up. It's a dessert. We can do we get this like so. And now we actually can wipe it because we have 3 of the same dish in it. But let's go ahead and serve Brooklyn first and then kind of see where we have there. So it's a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So a lot of cooking and serving this time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Gives us our lettuce and our seaweed stuff. And then we are going to serve Brooklyn, who gives me 0 points. Right there. And I will remember about her discard ability. But first, we are going to hear what her story has to say.
You serve your guests one of your all-time favorite dishes, but are surprised when there's no sign of outward reaction. They slowly turn to you. All hail Lucy, the harbinger of darkness and keeper of the celestial key. All will be Lucy. All will be darkness. I love Lucy. You decide to leave as quickly as possible.
Alright, so now we have the Zhao twins. I think I might still try and go for Sloane. But we are at the end of the day, so I'm going to put something up here. So where I'm at... You know what, actually, I think I'm going to refresh this first. At the end of my turn, I'm going to say I'm going to refresh that because we had 3 desserts out there. Because I want to see what I might need to get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So he wants the croissant thing, which is here, which wants lettuce and mushrooms. I am not by either one of those. But let's go ahead and grab a couple of onions. That way I can be turning those in for ingredients. Oh, the reason I did that is I'm putting my 1 up here. That's why I was doing it, for that. All right. Beginning of the day. So we are by the onions. By the onion, by the flour, or by the bark. We are going to grab this, and we're going to grab the onion book. And we're going to put the forage right there. These come back. And then right now I'm going to spend the onion to put this book back right there. Let's draw that out replacement. We got a flour. So I know I want to work on getting this ground elder tart. I need 2 of those and 3 mushrooms. If I move 1, I can get 3 of the leaves needed. Thinking it over, I technically only need 1 leaf, and maybe not even that if I want to turn something into a leaf, because when I cook, I can get a leaf. So I really need the mushrooms. So 1, 2 to get mushrooms. Or if I move 1, 2, 3, I can get plenty of onions as well. So we're going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. That is going to give us our 2 root vegetables. I have 3 foragings. I need 3 mushrooms, so 1, 2, and 3. We now are going to move 2 to cook. 1 and 2. That gives us a leaf. You know what, let's go ahead and grab the onion. Why not? Then we are going to spend 3 onions as a leaf. We have our 4 leaves in that regards, and then we have our 4 mushrooms to be able to make the ground elder tart, which gives us 6 points. That slips under here. We flip this over. Oh, I could have grabbed a acorn with that one, but that's all right because I'm about to serve. I'm going to grab the acorn. That way maybe I can move my jars. Seeing as Sloane has a jar, my jar will move fairly decently. So we're here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's move 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to grab our lettuce. Oh, I didn't forage when I was there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just grab the nut from there. And then here we're going to grab the nut from that card. And then let's go ahead and forage a mushroom. I'm going to use the mushroom to return the book again. Because I might be doing the Zhao twins, and when they are served, I can go somewhere and study. So maybe if I want to study with that. But we are serving Sloane. So we are serving them the ground elder tart. They are worth 1 point. When served, gain 1 ingredient of your choice for each guest in your play area. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I get 5 ingredients of my choice. So we got Luna out there. So 5 ingredients of my choice. So then I'm going to go for the Kung Pao Lotus. It's 8 points. And then like Professor Shade wants anything. Oh, Winry wants anything. Both of these would want anything. So I'm going to grab a couple of nuts. I'm going to grab a couple of mushrooms and one of the seaweed, which now I'll have enough stuff to make that, which I think is where I'm about to go.
You serve a wonderful meal to your guests, after which you spend time relaxing and sipping a refreshing drink together. They tell you about rumors they've heard concerning a secret society of foodies in the area. It's said they hold meetings in a mansion deep in the woods where they develop bizarre new dishes like glow-in-the-dark soufflés and soup that changes colors based on the weather. It's said that if you trespass on their secret meetings, their leader has a special dish that makes your taste buds stop working.
I want to make sure I have these because I'm going to move my jar right there. So we got to move 2, 1, 2. So let's go ahead and grab another nut. Let's grab another leaf. I have so many themes going on. And then we'll forage. I don't have many berries. Let me grab a berry. And then we are going to make it with the 3 seaweed, the 2 mushrooms, the berry, the acorn, and the leaves to do the Kung Pao Lotus. That gives me 8 points, like that. Now we have our hickory nut milk. So end of the day, I get to put something up here. I am going to put up my 2. I'm going to spend an acorn and a bark to move my jar. 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. So we are into our last 3 actions. So looking at where I'm at, let's do my beginning of day. I gain a berry. And then I can study or gain 2 points. I am just going to gain 2 points. I think I'm fairly well studied. Plus I can always right now get the Zhao twins, which will replace the jar I'm about to discard if I discard her. And then they can let me move to any empty space and study if that's something I want to do. Lunas I can discard. 4 of those. No, I'm not worried about that. Professor Shade wants acorns. I could get the acorns, and then Professor Shade would be pretty cool. So I think I am going to serve him. So I think, though, I am going to discard her to grab the Zhao twins. So she gets discarded. And then the Zhaos give me 5. And then I can move to any empty space, then study. So that, anything out here, anything there. Not sure what I'm really going to go for, but let's, for fun, move here and grab this book just in case I end up by this and need to forage. That'll give me a point. And replace. And let's see what their story is, seeing as I have technically served them.
You serve a wonderful meal to your guests, after which you spend time relaxing and sipping a refreshing drink together. They tell you about rumors they've heard concerning a secret society of foodies in the area. It's said they hold meetings in a mansion deep in the woods where they develop bizarre new dishes like glow-in-the-dark soufflés and soup that changes colors based on the weather. It's said that if you trespass on their secret meetings, their leader has a special dish that makes your taste buds stop working.
So seeing as I was able to grab 2 ingredients of my choice, I grabbed 2 of the acorns, building up to get the 8 for this one. So I think right now we're going to just move the 1 right to here. That gets me a berry. That gets me a leaf. And then I can forage, so I'm going to grab another acorn, so I'm almost up to the 8. We are going to then do the Kung Pao Lotus to serve Professor Shade, because he wanted anything. So now it is time to hear Professor Shade's story.
You and your guests sit down for a lovely picnic in the shade. But just a few bites in, the idyllic scene is suddenly shattered by a frenzied onslaught of seagulls. With a chorus of squawks, they descend upon your spread like a tempest, their wings flapping in a chaotic whirl of feathers and determination. The food is snatched up in a moment, and you can hear their cawing laughter as they disappear as quickly as they had come.
So looking, I am not going to be able to make anything and serve it because, again, I'm at my 7. It's just the way things work. So it's going to basically be a serve and a forage. Or cook and a forage. So I think we're going to cook with a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can forage, so I'm going to grab another one of my things there. Before I grab what's on my back, I am going to instead cook. And the main thing that we can make is this red bud spring rolls. So we spend our flowers and a berry. That's going to give us 2 points. Right under there. And then I did that just because I want to see what came there, so we are going to grab a flower. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can go 1, 2, 3. It's not going to get me there, so in the interim, I'm going to turn 3 of these in for one of those, so I have my 8 to discard. We are then going to do our 3 for our foraging. 1, 2, and 3. So I'm not by onions. I get 3 forages. I'm not by that, so I don't get a point. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab 3 bark. 3, and then I am going to turn those 3 in for another acorn because I want to move my jar again at the end of the day. So there's that. So now we go into our last end of the day. So we are going to put up our 1 through 4, which lets me spend these like that. To move my jar, we're going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4 again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like that. Then we are going to, let's see, who's got the end of the game end. So Professor Shade does, so let's get these on there so I remember that. Put those on there. Then Mr. and Mrs. Winters. All right, there we go. So let's get into the end of game scoring. So for end of game, we do any end game people here. We get a point for every 4 resources left, and then we're going to add up those 2. So we'll start here. We have that's 1, that's 2 points. We are going to discard these. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That gives me 10, which puts me at 69. And then I have 1 recipe in my play area, so that is 1, 2, and 3. So we have 72 plus 18 is 80 is 90 points. 90 points. I almost got to a legendary achievement. I was able to complete all milestones, and I did serve Mr. Mendez, so this was an accomplishment. So let's go ahead and get into the wrap-up story, and then join me back here as I wrap up this part of it.
That weekend, you head to the park for your first official meeting as a full-fledged member of the Order of Epicurean Oddities. The local park was transformed into a mosaic of colorful blankets and picnic baskets, each one filled with unique culinary creations made for sharing. All day, laughter and conversation flow freely as other members regale one another with stories of their own culinary experiments and unforgettable food adventures. As the sun sets, Yolanda calls for a toast to celebrate the newest member of the Order. "Take this pin," she says, handing you a glistening pin even more intricate than the one you're wearing. "It shows that you're now officially the chef for the Order of Epicurean Oddities." As you attach the new pin to your backpack, everyone raises their glass of elderberry lemonade and cheers. Amidst the camaraderie and laughter, you watch as Yolanda's dad walks over and wraps her up in his own bear hug. You smile and find yourself very glad you stumbled upon this wonderful society of friends and food.
So there you have it. That was scenario 5. As of right now, I do plan on doing scenarios 6 and 7, although I do need a little bit more encouragement to do that. So if you are really wanting me to do 6 and 7, go ahead and let me know down below, and that will definitely help me push towards getting those done. If I do those and you want to be alerted to that, one way you can be is by heading down below, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the bell. You also then can like the video and share the video, and that again will help me know that more people are wanting to see scenarios 6 and 7 so we can finish up all 7 scenarios. Also down there are ways you can help support the channel and keep these coming anyways, and that is by joining our Patreon, hitting up our Ko-fi, or joining this channel with the join button down below, which will make you a member of this channel, which will give you exclusive perks such as seeing videos early, seeing our monthly schedule ahead of time, and certain other videos that are exclusive to members, like me looking at certain crowdfunding projects we're looking, or initial reaction shorts the first time we play a game. So, with all that being said, it is time to get out and forage.